out on Allison Street. That's where we meet. So I'm doing this experiment here, one camera with the other camera, compare and contrast what good science does. Come on, you can do this, Kev. Hey, you're giving yourself away. Maybe you can. I can. Oh no, no. I can walk and chew gum at the same time. So in the early days, it is what it is. Is she going? Oh yeah. It wasn't, they'll be calling you a radical. It was out in the street. Where's your soup can? Didn't have a soup can those days. You giving yourself away. It was all about the shut down of San Onofre, the Fukushima, the great eclectic artist. I was just going through a bunch of videos. I'm like, God, how good were I all over the well crash in 2016. Remember me and my grandson made that cutout well, hung it on the clothesline, all that great art. He was 4 then. Hey, he'll be 10 soon. Let's read a bedtime story. So, who's that? Let's read a bedtime story, kids. Hey, you're giving yourself away. It's written in the tears on your face. What are you going to use for a slide? That's what I always wanted to do. It's my favorite, the slide. Where's your soup can? No soup can. So, compare and contrast. I'm going back to the iPad. That iPad's fucking quality is so good. You know, you gotta have some Wi-Fi somewhere. I don't have Wi-Fi here because I won't sleep in it. So my grandson threw a fit till I got a phone so we could talk, you know, when I'm in California. So 2014, I believe it was, 15, the group of artists that were. By the way, so you understand, what happened to all those great artists get butt hurt real easy, but that doesn't mean they're not great artists, because that whole crew of artists are great artists, really great artists, and the rats and the fucking trolls and the PR firms fucking amped up against us. So, Ackerman, okay, son of Cassandra, you always seem to get it right. The artist post-ignorance is the greatest art movement in history. Throws a 10 all over it. There's only one of these. He says, there's only one of you. And you see it playing out. This is like this. Hey, you've given yourself out on Allison Street. And that's where we meet. All we hear is Radio Lady Gaga, Radio Google. Hey, you're giving yourself away. How do you see it playing out? I said, do you remember Marcel Duchamp's incredible interview with, I never did get my 80 Sedgwick. I said all the time, simply to make this go, I mean, I had 80 Sedgwick. Somebody says, he don't get paid, he don't get laid. Well, one of the two is true. I mean, lately, coronavirus, it's a little hard, but hey, you're giving your, I said it's going to play out like this. Remember that great interview with Marcel Duchamps? And we'll do the Edie Sedgwick interview. Edie first, huh? Landy? Landy doesn't talk. By the way, my middle girl could be her twin. She's that beautiful. What a mind. When I'm dead and gone, oh, it ain't over. You can deal with her and my granddaughter. God, what a genius. The grandson, whoa. Both of them. Both my granddaughters and my grandsons. Well, I have a new baby one in Italy. Landy doesn't talk. Why doesn't he talk? Going back to the Velvet Underground, Nico. Fuck, Edie was the fucking, she was it. Fuck, was she it. Everybody knew it. Ask Bruce. I've read a piece this morning. I read a lot, tremendous. I loved it. This guy wrote an opinion. He says Bruce Springsteen's crime wasn't the so-called DUI, .02. No, the violation that he offended, the crime that he committed was the Jeep commercial at the Super Bowl. Ain't selling for Pepsi. Ain't selling for Coke. When Bruce fucking sells his soul on Guff and Jot, you know we're fucked when he does it, and he did it. We're riffing. How come Andy doesn't talk? How come Andy has white skin? I think, well, I had two really close friends when I was a kid that were albinos. I caught it from them. How come he doesn't talk, Edie? Well, I talked for him and the factory. He never painted anything. I remember when he went to fucking Europe and he sold, I mean, we're talking $75,000, well, $150,000 half up front. Portler ours. This is how slick this motherfucker was. I wonder who got it. I told the doctor, don't, when my gallbladder ruptured, don't you dare Warhol me. Who's got his catalog? He said away. He knew what he was doing. Whoa. Whoa. How do you say playing out, son of Cassandra? Post-Sigurds is the most important art movement in history. Yeah, that it is. No isms in post-ignorance. Marcel Duchamp. Kevin Blanche. I've always said the problem is not the artists. You know, the protests at the MoMA, I've done dozens of them. Every, you know, Patrick McCormick hanging himself. It's what a masterpiece that is. It should have millions of views. Marcel Duchamp painted nude descending down staircase. I got to see it in Vegas. What a fucking painting. In 1911, is that right? Yeah. You know, his ready-mades and his scene up until, you know, the war. Andy Warhol was born the day of the bomb, right? 29, 41. That brilliant, brilliant New York Times curator. God, she was a genius. The problem is not with the artist. The problem is the curator, the media, the New York Times critics sold their souls to the fucking devil. They couldn't tell you a fucking Picasso from a fucking craft store fucking Chinese-made fucking dollar fucking trinket. So she does that interview with him. The ready-made's becoming vogue again. This is in the 60s. Marcel Duchamp. What do you care now? Why do you give a shit? I've been sitting right there in the parkland chest for 30 fucking years. Now, I've read enough and I've done enough PhDs to know that, you know, behind the scenes, he was the gatekeeper at the moment. He's the one that kept Pollock out for all those years. Arnold Blanche, remember him? That's how Pollock was painting. I talked to her, the woman that survived in the car. Fuck, I've talked to so many people in New York over the years. What do you care now? Herman Melville, I used to stand right there where he'd stand, the night watchman on Wall Street. Of course, I wasn't a night watchman. He wrote Moby Dick, which is considered the greatest piece of literature in Americana history now. He had some money. He paid the publicists. He got it out. Went out there. The critics didn't like it. Was it 50 years later? 60 years later? Teddy Roosevelt happened to read it. What a fucking book. Whoop. But it's a book. I'm not a book. Literature only changes around the fringes. The core. Nude descending down staircase. Dead purple nude found in elevator. Remember all those beautiful pieces of art? I've always said my site's so eclectic. Someone, the curator, can take away and separate. I've done a little bit of it on playlists. The activists, the artists. I mean, They can pull it apart. That's how it's going to play out. That's exactly how it's going to play out. Well, they're all butthurt, of course, because the PR for it is exactly like Malcolm X. I used to take young people all the time when I was involved in Anonymous in the early 2000s in the day in that candy store in fucking Williamsburg. Hey, you want to go see the guy who killed Malcolm X? You want to go visit with him? Whoa. See the McDonald's right there? He works there. No. Yeah, come on. We'd go over there. He was on work release. We'd visit with him. He didn't kill him. He got convicted of it. The FBI, the trolls, the CIA sent the fucking letters that Malcolm supposedly written. You know, by the way, Tupac and that manufacturer, Gloria Steinem, the fake lefty, she's still alive. What they did to Malcolm X's legacy, I will never forgive them. I mean, I think one of the things that moved me as the artist more than anything was the interview with Malcolm X's daughter on 60 fucking Minutes. Farrakhan's there. And she just lets the fucker babble. Well, Farrakhan got teed up, didn't he? You know, by the fake letters, by the FBI. That's what happened to me. All these fake fucking things that came out, I didn't write them. They hijacked my fucking site. I didn't do any of that. It's all over. The trolls want me in critical condition. That's what they do. How effective of an activist I am. You know. That interview, she says, she just lets him go. Then she stops and says, "Oh, you love my dad, huh? You loved him. You remember I was on the stage when you murdered him. Me and my sisters were on the stage when you murdered him. Do you know what kind of problems my sisters have had, we have had to deal with? Do you have any clue? Do you have any fucking clue?" And she started to cry. Real elegant. Why do you care now? You're still waiting for the main event. Oh, there's an earthquake, fear porn. Fukushima Diani shut down. All the nuclear reactors in Japan are shut down. Cement fuel pools cracked at Diani, no doubt in my mind. They got pumps of water, let's hope they learned their fucking lessons. America came to a fucking end on March 11th, 2011. I've talked to Mikhail Gorbachev. His wife died of this horrible disease multiple times. I've talked to him personally. In Vienna. You know, it's said now that Chernobyl ended the USSR, and he knew it then. He's said that multiple times, that he knew it then. It took a while for people to look back, Tsar Putin, till they killed it, and the Tsar fucking, when there's a vacuum, they slide in, they all hang out in Vienna. You know, they fill the vacuum. Trump tried it here. The old United States ended on March 11, 2011. The main event was a fucking knockout blow. The only person on earth that told it properly, artistically, fucking philosophically, intuitively, well, consciously, subconsciously, Kevin Blanch. Just remember this. I did this great protest with Eric Oppenheim at the MoMA. Fuck, so much of that great work. The MoMA is coming out now, totally hijacked. Black, Epstein's buddy. So Debs Dubs, who's the gatekeeper of the MoMA, so he's under investigation right now. You remember Epstein had this Swedish girlfriend. She got rid of him because she wasn't young enough for him. She married this Debs, and she had 2 children with him. Uncle Jeffrey used to come over to the house and read them bedtime stories. Now, who's this guy? Hey, you're giving yourself away. Out in the street. That's when we meet. Ackerman, Washington Square, where everything that ever happened. Stonewall riots, Alexander Hamilton, every fucking art movement that was ever anything, including Pollock, including fucking Warhol. Motherwell, father dead. Hey, you're giving yourself away. Bunch of fucking rats. That's who runs the MoMA. That's who runs all the Phyllis Wattis moment in thing. Now it's the Fisher boy sitting in Utah State Prison. It was in the Weber County Jail. Yeah, that one. Climbing to the Gap. How do you see this playing out? They hijacked the whole thing. There's no curator. There's no fucking educated art critic. They couldn't tell you a fucking Picasso if someone walked up and fucking smashed it around their fucking head. I did that great at the Whitney, my beautiful artist daughter. The Art of the Protest. Grant Wood shows in there. Grant Wood, the greatest. Sit down. President's Day. For I cannot tell I cut down that cherry tree. Remember that painting? Fuck. He died. He got cancer the same year I didn't die. His work is so fucking American Toxic. Remember that great piece of fucking art with Lori fucking Carlsbad? Fucking, oh, I just love that fucking church. Fuck up. You know, I used to live right there. What do you give a fuck now? Elsa Platz. Remember she shaved her head off? She's crazy. Andy, where did you get the idea for the soup cans? The curator took fucking thing. The MoMA fucking gatekeeper took credit. Everyone took credit. He says, my mother, when I was a kid, would cut out wind chimes of soup cans. He was lying the whole time. That's all he ever did. He played everybody. The only thing he ever said true, Andy, why are you making these pornos, these movies, which, fuck, those things are a trip. Fuck on. Erotica on Balco. He never painted one of those paintings he took half the deposits for in fucking Europe. Not one. It's a lot easier than painting. I got cancer. Afraid of the fucking pain. I'll get back to it. Done a lot of fucking work. Elsa Platz used to walk around fucking Dada, the Fru. Started Dada was New York City. Zurich. Francis to the moon. Remember, you got to be poor? Yoko Ono. The billionaire is Dada, up is down, black is white, wrong is right. That's where we live. Art is non-art. Elsa Platz in 1908 used to walk around New York City with a shaved head with a tomato soup can bra. She had a sign. She used to protest in front of them, and guess what it said? For years, 20s, 30s, till she died in Switzerland. It's almost like Malcolm died. Remember they turned off his gas? That's all. They got a gun. Well, wouldn't you, after they turned off your gas, try to kill you? He was not a gun target. My favorite fucking line of them all. You know, and I was in New York on that hot day my daughter got married, August 12th. He died on Andy Warhol's bench. I remember his niece showed up to one of my events in fucking New York. Full headdress. Where is everybody? Me and you. Let's eat. Hot, hot, hot. What do you give a fuck now? Tupac, a native activist who fought back, turned into a gun culture. What a fucking slide. I've been right here the whole fucking time. Fukushima, that was the knockout blow. The trolls, the cover-up, the greatest fucking art reflected of the greatest event in human history. How do you see it playing out? Why do you give a fuck now? Every fucking swinging dick in the fucking world's an expert. Just ask. That's Kevin Fiddle. Oh, Rome Burns. You seen the fires? Pacific Ocean's on fire. Hey, you're giving yourself away. Out in the street. Out on Allison Street. That's where we meet. What a bunch of fucking rats. Some museums. They don't show art. Laura Pontius, the billionaire endowment, Astro's Noise. I walked the coast of California with the real, look up the real Astro from fucking Berkeley. Rex was with us. He was the liaison. They were walking Pacific Trail. I was walking the coast. We're both dying of AML leukemia. Astro used to jump off the fucking one, off the bridges and scream. And we used to call it Astro's Noise. He died on the trail. AML leukemia. she's got the nerve to do a show at the Whitney Masterson. So I'm at the Whitney. The Art of the Protest. There's a picture of me on the wall, leading the Million Mass. I says, come here, look. So I told the curator, I was at the PS1 in fucking, the Mo's PS1, and they had the, photographs of everything, and can I get a list? Little teeny strip. Yeah. He had to go dig through papers this big. I have it. I have so much art, so much stuff that it's incredible. It's there. It's there. Waiting for the main event. She's the billionaire fucking heir to the MIT endowment. The people that killed Aaron Swartz. I knew Aaron Swartz personally. Hey, Kevin Blanche fucking fiddle. The main event. Oh, it happened. It happened. It was a knockout blow. Nude descending down staircase. Dead purple nude found in elevator. What do you give a fuck now? Stand tuned.